Test one. Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all to another exciting session of Fashionomy organized by the Leo Club of University of Sri Jayawardhanapura, together with InnoDarts and EdScale Up. My name is Asna Amir and I represent Japur Voice, the official talent partner of Fashionomy. In today's session, we will be discussing the problems in the fashion industry. To shed us a lot of light about the world of fashion, we have with us an interesting and influential persona. She's one of the youngest females in the industry with over 12 years of experience. Her vision and mission has brought about her name and fame. She's a remarkably talented individual who truly carved her way up the fashion world. She's held several prestigious positions at national and international companies. Cadtex, Roneo Apparels, Edgeton Lanka Private Limited, and now she's a proud CEO of her very own Infinito Boutique. And interestingly enough, she also has history with the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura. So ladies and gentlemen, I present to you entrepreneur and international expert in the fashion industry, Ms. Anamika Mithila. Good evening, Ms. Anamika Mithila.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Thank you so much, Asna.
It's really nice to have you here today. It's really nice. And it's a huge pleasure of mine. It's a prestigious opportunity of me to be the person to moderate this and to have you with us here. So before I hand you over the platform, I would like to add some reminders to our audience. Please make sure to mute your microphones and switch off your cameras. Any questions that you have will be addressed at the end of the session. You may ask them yourself or type it in the chat box. And please make sure to mark your attendance in the attendance sheet that you will find in the chat box. So then with that, I would like to hand over the platform to you, Ms. Anamika.
Okay, thank you so much, Asna. Thank you so much for this wonderful introduction of mine. And yes, I would like to say Fashionomy is doing a wonderful job for bringing all those experts together and try to motivate these graduate startups to start their new ventures in fashion industry, right? So, okay, shall we start? What do you think?
Yes, most absolutely. Let's just start.
Let me try to share the screen, okay? Okay. Okay, am I visible?
Yes, I can see you.
All right. Okay. Right. So today we are talking that the topic has been given to me, talk about problem in fashion industry in Sri Lanka. So rather I prefer to talk about challenges, not the problem, right? Because as an entrepreneur, every challenges is an opportunity. So, like whenever you see a challenges, a problem. So when we are actually starting a business, we are starting a business to solve a problem, right? So it's not a problem, it's a challenges, right? So each challenges is our opportunity, right? So you already know about me, so nothing to add. I plays different role in different times, right? So mostly I plays a role like fiber to fashion expert and also a designer for my own brand. Currently, for my brand, over 150 operators working in 2 different locations in Asia. This is a little add-on to my profile, right? So if you think about my entrepreneur journey, like before I come out with start my own brand, I have done a lot of errors deciding which product I should go through, which kind of materials I should pick, because, like 12 years, apparel industries, that means I have started from the ground, right? So I have started when I know how to spin the fabrics, how to spin the fibers to fabrics, etc. So before, like whenever you are deciding to start a business, you have to first think about a core materials or a core product, right? So, right. So whenever you are thinking a core product, when I decided for my own core product, so I have to think about something more about innovative or more about sustainable, so that, like, uh, you can't build a brand within a day, right? But when you are doing something sustainable, which is really like you are thinking about your own planet, you are thinking about the people who are working for you, so gradually, like the brand will grow by itself. You just have to give a push from so many other tools, which I will be talked about in my latter part of the session today. Okay, so well, as I told earlier, every challenges is an opportunity for all of us, whoever wants to do a business. Okay, so you don't actually need to think, okay, um, I haven't, I don't have any fashion background. Okay, I'm a student from biology. Okay, I'm a student from math. I don't know nothing about the fashion industry. I don't know nothing about the business. Okay, so but I have a passion to start a fashion, something related to fashion. It can be a clothing, it can be anything. Can I do it? So the answer is, of course you can, because that's the challenge and that's the opportunity, right? So today I'll be covering two: fashion technology and sustainable fashion and the challenges in fashion industry, right? So these are the topic actually. I should say, like, I need at least a half a day session for each topic to talk about. But I will try to cover as much as I can. And then, of course, you can ask me any relevant question. I'll be happy to answer you during the Q&A, right? So, right. So before we jump to the next slides, I would like to ask, um, okay, people can hear me, right? Yay, hear me, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
we can.
all right. So if you have any questions, please write it down. And if I'm asking any question also, please answer. Then it will be like, I'm not talking to any ghost, right? We are the future entrepreneur, right? So when we are talking about fashion industry, what do you think? Uh, is it kind of like it's only related to clothing, or it's anything else? What do you think? It's only related to clothing? Yes or no? So, like, if we are talking about fashion industry, yes, some extent fashion industry related to clothing. And also the answer is no. When the answer is yes, the fashion comes when actually it comes from human demand, right? At the beginning, we start to wear something, right? So that's how it's the era started. So if you think in that way, the modern fashion, the so-called modern fashion, actually started from early 19th century, when people are actually thinking fashion about shape cloths. Like, people, I mean, especially the girls used to wear a shape cloth, where they used to use some kind of a strong structure to make it shape, right? So during this World War II, what happened? There was a shortage of these fabrics. So then the fashion shifted to the, I mean, since it's a shortage of the fabric, so they have shifted the fashion into the short skirts and synthetic fabrics, right? So why synthetic fabrics? Because it's reduced the cost and it's most of the wide range of affordable. So if you see from 19th century to till now, the fashion has actually shifted based on the situation, the tradition, the culture, uh, even the seasons. So right now, the 21st century, the core of fashion more about casual, more about like very freestyle, right? So to create those freestyle, to create is more authentic, to communicate with others. about, like, you know, like why we are wearing so many things, why we are wearing matching shoes and matching handbags. Why? Because it will communicate about ourselves to others, right? So it's a modern world. So the modern world, in this modern world, fashion means it's also clothing, accessories, eyewear, and uh, you know, like gloves, even shoes, running shoes, watches, everything is fall into fashion industry, right? So let's talk about what does it mean by fashion technology. So fashion technology, if you think such a way, it means fashion and technology blend together and creating a technology which makes the fashion manufacturing and design, also the marketing, together, and make it so relevant and so easy for the businessman, like to the business, also to the clients, like both sides, right? So what does it mean by best practices? So the best practices, when we are talking about best practices, the best industry practices, it means innovative ideas or innovative technologies which will reduce our waste, and then excess stocks, and then excess expenses, and importantly our pollution, right? So talk about pollution. Do you know the world apparel industry worth is about $3 trillion, where in Sri Lankan total apparel industry is about 4.8 billion. 4.8 billion total industry, and 2.2 billion we are actually importing from outside, right? So when we are importing from outside, the imports, the fashion products imports 2.2 billion, which is mainly on raw materials, accessories, and etc. So just think that much of huge industry. And the most important part is it's a $3 trillion industry, which is the largest, biggest, second biggest industry polluting our planet, right? So I will talk about it in my later part of this session. So these are the few concepts actually I have kept it here. So it will be easy, you know, like these are the best practices are doing, some of even some of manufacturers are doing in Sri Lanka. These are the best practices. But I would like our starters people to know even about this, right? So before I jump into those concepts, let's talk about why we need innovation, right? Like why goo goo gaga for this innovation? Why we need innovation? So actually, we need innovation for us, because you know, like when we are thinking our all the resources, like our natural resources are like we have unlimited resources, but which is actually not true. Like the breathe, the air we are taking, even the water we are drinking, it's not unlimited at all, right? So you know, like now we know, right? Even during the pandemic we know a lot of things now. So earlier, people don't used to think about those things, but now yes, it's really high time to think about, because it's our planet, this is our life. So innovation makes those limited resources very vital. And you know, like when we are innovating any technology, those technology help us or help the industry to minimize these natural resources, like to when we are using those natural resources, it's minimize it, and it gives like huge productive, like a large maximum efficiency. So we need innovation to actually sustain ourselves for us. Okay, so later part also again I will be explaining those things. So if anyone wants, you can actually take a screenshot of this technology, where these are the few couple of things some of the giant manufacturers practicing in Sri Lanka. But if you are counting the domestic apparel industry, then I would say it's a no. Actually, I can't see any domestic businesses using. rather than a very tiny little 2 3 brands actually trying to do some sustainable fashion and some other things. Okay, so shall I go to the next slide, or you need some time to take the screenshot? You can take a picture of this, right? Good to go. So the next one I would like to talk about organic fabrics and leather, right? So we actually need fabric. I mean, that's how our fashion industry is, right? So fabrics are producing from a lot of varieties, variable fibers, right? So like when it's talk about organic, so I mean, recently there are a lot of organic fabrics are coming to the market because people, as I told earlier, a lot of people are now thinking about the world, thinking about the planet, thinking of our existence. So, like if we are talking about organic fabric, so like from seaweed, even from seaweed, even from like from grass, from grasses also you can create fibers which will create produce fabrics. So today I picked actually silk made by orange peel. um, I thought you should have know this thing. Like when we are talking about silk, we know there are billions of small, tiny, innocent insects. We are like just spoiling them, right? So you should know, like there are people who are actually producing silk fabric out of orange peel. Okay, and there's a brand called H&M, the international brand called H&M. So H&M actually founded this technology, and they won the award, the World Change in 2015. That award they have received because of this innovation. And like when you innovate something, and that innovation you are using to your brand, that innovation is part of your product, or you producing those innovative products to the you including to the wide range of products. So people really care, people knows this, you really creating value to the people, right? So they don't mind to pay maybe extra couple of dollars or extra couple of rupees to give you a premium price, where they knows that whatever the product they are buying, it's actually ethical and sustainable for the planet, right? So, see, can you see these two gentlemen happily smiling, right? These are two Mexican gentlemen, right? So they actually created leather, leather from cactus. So then again, you don't need to kill animals to wear your leather stuff, right? So what they have done, they have created leather from cactus, and initially they thought, okay, let's sell this product as a raw materials to the leather brands, or like leather producer. Then they thought, since we have very unique product, very innovative one product we have, which is made out of cactus, why don't we start our own brand? So then in 2015 they started their own luxury brand called Desert 2. It's a Mexican word. If you think in English, actually it means desert. So Desert 2 is a brand which actually having a wide range of luxurious accessories like bags. They are into shoes, and they are into even now lots of accessories as well. And they started, just imagine, they started this brand in 2015 in Mexico. In 2017, the Vogue Australia has created a huge hype and huge feature on them. It took only 2 years to recognize the world, like, okay, this is the brand, they are doing innovative product which is made out of cactus. So no more animal killing, right? So let's talk about air dye technology. So air dye technology, before I talk about air dye, let me little educate you why we need even dyeing, right? So when we need fabric, right? So we can't only put on the solid fabric, right? We need colorful fabric, we need checks, we need stripes, we need a various range of fabric. So to create those texture on the fabric, we need to do it. We need to do it to dye it, right? So to dye, do you know, like to dye 1 pound of fabric, 1 pound of fabric, it takes 7 to 75 gallon of water to produce 1 pound of fabric dye, right? So if we talk about denim fabric, it takes 70 gallon to plus, depending on the which kind of denim, uh, the finished product we want. Based on that, we need that much of gallons of water, right? So earlier there are people, I mean, you have to dye the product, right? Because to get the texture and all other things. So so how to do it? So before the air dye technology comes, there are some companies, there are some compliance factories. They used to, when they're using those gallons of water to dye the product, they used to actually rectify those water and let it go to the river. It's really very expensive. The reason, like if you go for a washing plant, even in Sri Lanka, washing plant is, if they are really ethical, if they are not actually keeping those chemicals to the river, if they're actually ethical, then the washing price is really up. Even in Bangladesh, it's really expensive. So then air dye technology comes to the role. And when it came, like it's just one step process, like uh, you have to just heat the paper and you have to just press it to the fabric. There's no water at all needed, and it reduces 85% of energy, electricity. So that means you are reducing your electricity bill as well. And while we are using air dye, this air dye technology is not creating a harmful byproduct. That means if you're thinking, okay, it's air dye, right? So it's definitely pollute the air, but it's not actually. It's not creating any harmful byproducts, right? So if you see, this is the person who is wearing this. Everything is made by air dye product, right? If you have any question in terms of this technology, please feel free to note it down or write down in the chat box. I'll try to answer it, right? So let me go through the next slides. So let's talk about 3D printing. So 3D printing, basically, when you are talking about 3D printed, it means there's no waste at all. It's like you don't have any wastage. There's a zero waste. That's why 3D printing is very popular in other countries. But since in Sri Lanka we just, we are just blooming, so it might take times. But like 3D printing is also there. As I told earlier, like there are some giant manufacturer, they are actually using it, right? So you see, this is the person who is actually creating the 9D shape of this design, and then she will shift it. This is the garment, she will shift it to the 3D print. So 3D print is more popular, especially on jewelries, even eyewear, like optical industry. It's very popular because there's no waste, and especially when you're making jewelries, every waste is your money. Yeah, it's cost you, right? You see, this is the picture. Uh, this picture. So this picture actually I have taken from the movie called Black Panther. So this, why I took this picture actually, I wanted to tell you guys. I mean, to motivate you why you should shift yourself when you are trying to do a new startup. You just think about do something innovative. Now, see, this is the Wakanda Queen. She is wearing this dress. It's completely 3D printed, right? But the like very important thing, this garment, like this dress, actually won the Oscar costume, right? Because of there are people, like outside the international market, they really care about 3D print because they know when you are actually making those things, you are not creating any harm, rather than you are wearing also fashionable clothes, right? So if you see most of the even superheroes movies also, most of the time they are using 3D prints. And if you see Oscar and some other international awards, you will see most of our celebrities are wearing 3D prints. Maybe that's another way of giving a messages, like it's time to shift to those kind of special garments, those kind of special fashion. So when those celebrities are wearing those things, it's become a trend, as we know. So let's talk about this. What is actually NFC interactive clothing? So when this clothing is making, uh, this is a technology which is giving a special code for each fabric, for each product. Even though from the fabric to the end product, there's a code. So why we need it? It's another innovation. So, for example, uh, I'm a buyer. You are a manufacturer. I have given you an order and you have to produce it, right? So normally the manufacturers are taking 5% of extra, for their wastage and all. But when you are keeping this kind of coding, actually, you know how many wastage actually is there, and from the fabric till the end product where your products are. Even though when you are shipping the, like, okay, I produce a garment and then I have to ship it to UK. How to ship it? Definitely I will do a sea freight, right? So when we are sending by sea also, still we know this is our product, this is the code of this product, the code always beeping, okay, this product is there. And why it's important to the retailers? Example, there are some retailers, okay, they are using NFC interactive clothing code. So what they're doing, so I have purchased one cloth, okay, which is included that code number, and I have apps in my phone. So what is happened, this code, every time it's giving an information about the product, like what's the product life cycle, how many times I should wash it, how to wash it, shall I wash it by hand, shall I wash it by uh, machine wash, shall I put on the sunlight or not put on the sunlight, like everything it will be coming like that extent. Not only this, now when a retailer knows that you have purchased this product which included NFC code, so they knows what's my customer preferences, what kind of design or what kind of things she's preferences, and then what is her age, what is her taste, so based on that, what they will do, when they are doing a next design, they will send you a messages. Okay, now we are anyway getting a messages like, okay, this is the brand, we have a new arrivals. But that time we know what kind of new arrivals comes, okay, and what kind of products is there. So it's a very what I say, like it's a very interactive way to blend with the customer and let the customer feel a customized shopping experience, right? So if you have any question about this, please feel free to ask. Right. So my next topic is about eco-friendly clothing, right? So there are a lot of, like as I told earlier, like fabrics from seaweed, fabric from orange peel. Today I picked a word, linen fabric. Why I picked linen fabric? Because it's my expertise, right? And you can see this is my brand as well. Small marketing. Right. So why actually I have picked linen? Um, I have picked linen. There are so many reasons. I would like to give you a little essence why actually I picked linen. Sri Lanka is a tropical country. You have always summer, right? So basically, summer, what we need a fabric, uh, we need a fashion which is more breathable. Okay, so linen, when you are wearing linen, it's actually absorbing your sweating. And most of the time there are some fabrics after dyeing and after producing after the even the after finished garment, if you wear it, you feel like allergic. But the actual part is when you are the actual linen, which is made of flex plant, these are not allergenic at all. And linen fabric, you don't need to dye at all. Okay, there are some times you might dye. That means you are actually producing not a quality linen. You are just producing, call it linen, but a byproduct. Original linen doesn't need to dye it, or it's totally shrink free and it's environmental friendly. And this product, do you know how to say, uh, like like mummies, they are wrapping the mummies, they used actually linen fabric. And when those days, that era, when when the linen fabric actually came, when the actually produced linen fabric, there was a lifetime of linen fabric. Do you know what it is? Nearly 70 years. One cloth you can wear it nearly 70 years. No, nothing. It will not fade away, nothing. But now, what we are doing? Like I need to sell my product, more product, more product. So if my product is that much of durable, people will not buy my next design, right? So what people are doing, the fabric producer, they are producing the fabric, linen fabric, such a way it will go at least 7 to 10 years, good 7 to 10 years, I might say. But then again, it has to be a linen fabric which is made out of flex plant or grasses. It's totally organic, sustainable way to produce linen, right? So if you have any question, again, feel free to ask, right? This is my favorite one. And unfortunately, I couldn't find anything here in Sri Lanka, not even in Bangladesh. So it's virtual fit on. Well, just imagine during this pandemic 2020, what happened? From the first wave, we are so happy, right? But after the first wave, maybe 2 months, it was open, everything was open. So when we go for a shopping, the first thing the retailer, the salesperson used to say, Madam, please don't fit on. You can't fit on. So now tell me how you gonna buy something without fit on, right? When you have a big, because as a consumer behavior, like as for example, I'm a customer. So I have always a doubt. I don't know how I will look good with this dress. Okay, it looks good, but I don't know how it will look good on me. So I like to fit on. Really, everybody likes to fit on. So just imagine if we have a virtual fit on room, we can do wonders, right? We don't need to go to shopping mall at all. We can, anyway, we are buying online. So just put those things in our app, and then just feed the information like about the height, weight, the preferences, and the dress is on, or everything is on you. So you know how you looks like. So this practice is actually going on in international market. There are some brands actually using it, um, like H&M and Zara. They are actually using this virtual fit on. Even in India, they have couple of places they have those virtual fit on. So yes, so think about it. It's a food for thought. Like if you think I should do a fashion technology, I should start something innovative. It doesn't mean somebody already do it somewhere else. I can't do it here. Why? Who stopped you? You can even start this thing. You can even create an app where maybe all those brands will come to you and ask, hey, can you give me a space? Okay, I need a space. Um, can I borrow a space from your app? My people will come and virtual, they will do the fit on. You never know, right? So let's talk about blockchain. Okay, so it's a huge how it's like when internet came to our life, the way it changed our life totally ups and down, and it's made our life more comfortable. Such a way, blockchain also help, especially the businesses, to get all those data around the world, and then it tell us what to do next, which kind of product to do, where to go, which market we should expand, which product we should go, which product can be a very fast moving product in next 2 3 months. Not only that, you see, there's a person putting on a cloth. So before a cloth coming to the market, it will produce somewhere, right? So, even in Sri Lanka, there are a couple of one or two factories, the giants, they are actually using that kind of technology to produce their products. So, how they do it? So, what they're doing, for example, Mr. X is my buyer and I'm the manufacturer, and Mr. Y is my supplier, right? So, my buyer, Mr. X, asked me, hey, I need 10 pieces of this garment. Okay, he given me the order here, but blockchain is a connecting, right? It's connecting to all of them. You can make it actually customized. You can either you can make the chain, you can make it with your suppliers, or you can read you can cut your suppliers as well. But normally suppliers, so example, our supplier knows, okay, we keep our suppliers also in our chain. So Mr. X given me 10 orders, and I am the uh, I'm the suppliers, the manufacturer, and my raw material suppliers also knows this. I have this person has to create, has to produce 10 garments, and to produce 10 garments, this is the fabric she need, and this is the accessories needed, and this is the button we need if we need a zipper, etc., etc. It's everything is on the chain, right? Not only the production, but also from the buyer orders till the shopping retailers, right? So even though, say, I got the suppliers got to know this is the raw materials I have to supply, so then this person is on the loop, he will supply to me, I will produce, and buyer knows also within this time, like maybe first week of May, I'm getting this product. Example, now there are so many reasons I can the production can be delayed, even during the pandemic, even in Sri Lanka we had to shut down like a couple of weeks. Actually in Bangladesh we had to shut down two weeks, no, almost 2 months. So it's like that. But then again, that means what, my customer is not getting the product in on time, but then when they knows that this product actually delay, so they can create their change marketing strategy, they can do something to like to cover it up. So if somebody wants to do a startup in fashion industry, I might say blockchain, at the beginning, as you are a startup, you might start, but then you can add on, because this will create you like it's like a continuous improvement, right? So that's here it's come. So earlier, remember I told it's a $3 trillion industry, and it's the largest, second largest industry which is polluting our planet. So just imagine every day, like tonight, okay? So tomorrow morning we'll be giving our garbage to our people, right? So we, thanks to our government, they have now put a rules like, okay, you have to put organic and plastic separately. Just today, you just see tomorrow early morning how many plastic products actually you are throwing it every day. Just imagine how many plastic products you are throwing every day, and that's a $3 trillion industry. Every garment has its own packaging, right? So just imagine if I have, imagine like hypothetically, like I am producing 100,000 units, 100,000 units into 100,000 packaging, right? So 100,000 waste, because packaging is just to show off, right? To give a finished product. That's it. It's not a, we are not going to wear the packaging, right? So I'm saying it's very important for us to shift at our packaging into bio packaging. Seriously, it's really a huge time, especially of course in Sri Lanka. I might say if you can do, I mean, try to educate others and also try to minimize your own, especially those kind of packaging which you can't usually compose. But another thing, do you know, like this kind of when you are doing bio packaging, this kind of packaging only takes minimum 3 months to max 6 months to dispose, right? But if you are like those polythene kind of materials, if you are using, it takes, do you have any idea how many years it takes to decompose? It takes nearly 100 or 1,000 years to compose those one piece of polybags. So think about it, right? Right. So let's talk about wearable technology. Maybe most of you know it because like thanks to Apple, it made us so educated about those wearable watch, and then like if you, so that the way the watch going on, like you will get the heart rates, you will get all the information about your health. Same way, there are technology which it's a small chip is connected to your jacket or your pant, which is giving you the actual information about your all the health, like even some reason you are getting very cold. Okay, so that this technology in that extent, it can actually create warmer to the cloth. So if you are like freezing, you can little warm up with this kind of technology which is attached with those kind of cloths, right? And we all know about this Nike, what they have done, their running shoes, like it's completely, we know it, but I want to again keep you reminded, like if you are talking about technology, you can't actually ignore those. And if you are thinking, okay, I'm thinking to those similar kind of things, go ahead, do it. I mean, Nike done it. It doesn't mean that you can't do it. Maybe you can do it something different since they have the patent. But like you never know. You can come out with something much better than somebody else. Like, and okay, I'll talk about that one little in my next slides. So before I'm talking, let's see what Microsoft has done. Right? I'm going to play a video. If you can't hear it, please Asna, let me know if you can't hear it. Okay, I'm playing it now.
The Future of Fashion Incubator is a project to bring digital transformation to the next generation of talent in fashion by empowering them to create the fashion world for tomorrow.
Working with Microsoft, we're able to experiment with everything from artificial intelligence to mixed reality. That breadth of experience is utterly unique in the fashion industry.
A really fun, exciting experience. It enabled us to really understand what AI is. AI to me is personalization.
We're becoming, as a society, more and more connected through all our devices. We're having smart devices everywhere. So what we wanted to do is to include that into the fashion context and see how we can make fashion very better.
The actual inspiration comes from ourselves as designers, and we believe that the best ideas come from experience. We were actually able to build, even a demo inside HoloLens, and working with all the ambassadors, we had a real case study.
Technology.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sorry for the interruption.
The Future of Fashion Incubator.
Hi.
This is what this partnership is about, is to find new ways of working with it and new creative possibilities that it brings.
I really hope that the students take away from this experience that technology is there to empower them to achieve more, and that anything is really possible if they can dream it.
So so it can you hear me? Yeah, right. So it makes sense, right? So I don't know what happened, right? So so whatever I was saying, the same thing actually Microsoft has nicely created. You know, like why I actually I play this video to show, because you know, when you see things, you will say actually these are the things existed in the world. Maybe not because we are staying in a small island, but you know, like you never know. We can definitely someday we will be like much more, you know, like improved. So then you know, it starts from us, right? The improvement starts from us. So okay, let's talk about sustainable fashion. So why we need actually sustainable fashion? Why sustainable fashion actually we need to you know, like we need sustainable fashion because of we are uh, like we have to think about our planet, we have to think about us, and we have to create profit, right? Without profit nothing is working. So when it's talk about sustainable fashion, it's actually means the sustainable manufacturing, sustainable design, and also uh, some extent it can be used into our marketing and branding as well. So sustainable fashion, when you talk about, these are the things, like it has to be organic products, it has to be ethical, and you know, so these are the four elements we actually talk about when you're talking about sustainable fashion. Like ethical fabric. So as I already told earlier, like these are the fabric which is not creating any harm to the society, to the planet. Sustainable materials, we already talked about it. And why sustainable products is slow? It's because of, you know, like it takes time when you're preparing, like example, when you're making a fabric, a fiber from a plant or from orange peel, it takes time. Also it takes time to produce it. So it's when, okay, I'm thinking I will have 100 units of sustainable this kind of product by next week. It's not possible because it's not a photocopy, it has a it takes time, right? So the fashion is slow but it's sustainable. And also the main thing about fair trade. So what does it mean by fair trade? So when we are talking about fair trade, it's mainly talk. We can mainly talk about like ethical production, like there should not be any child labor, and you know, like the payment should be fair, and it's not harmful to the workers. You know, like they should have a ethics. And you know, when you go to like big giant factories like even Mars and Brandix, you will see they have a big ethics list. You know, so those are actually matters a lot. So this sustainable story I will talk about in my next slide. I took a local brand called Celine for my example. Okay, so do you know about Celine? Maybe we know Celine by saying, okay, it's another handloom brand in Sri Lanka. They are doing pretty good, right? This is how we know. But do you know, Celine is a company who actually is certified from World Fair Trade, right? So the company has started in 1991 with only 15 operators. And now you see they have 250 employees. What does it mean by 1,000 houses? So 1,000 houses means, um, you know, they train those housewives who can't go outside and work. So they are doing a small training, how to do production, like how to swing and all. And then after that, they are giving their raw materials to those housewives or those houses. And then they are swinging it, stitching in, and giving the saline back. So that way the person who is staying in the rural area, who can't go outside, maybe far away from the town, they are actually staying at home and producing. So that's how the brand actually sustained, and it got a sustainable brand, and it got certified from World Fair Trade. Not only that, this particular brand, I talked about dyeing, right? I talked about air dyed. I talked about how the dyed industry polluting how much of gallons of water, right? But this particular brand, what they are doing vegetable dye. So it's completely organic. We are not wasting anything, right? It's completely organic. We are not wasting anything, right? It's completely our plant. They have small kids, so that company is looking after them. The small kids, maybe small kids not going to school, they are providing their education as well. So I mean, when you are talking about a new startup, it's not about like, okay, another mudalali, like I want to be another mudalali, buying and selling. Okay, I can be it also another way. I will talk about it. But when you plan to start a business, always think it's not about earning profit. It's not about earning profit. Profit will come someday, but it's all about how you create value to others, to the life and the planet. So why we need technology? We need technology to think about, to reduce um, our natural resources and take a maximum efficiency. That's why we need technology. We need technology because the circumstances might not be the way the way we used to do traditional way to do the marketing, the traditional way to do other things. It might not be because like the world is enough old, to collapse actually. So it's high time, it's a bland thing. You can't move out from technology, you can't move out from sustainable. If you do, if you do like, okay, I don't think about sustainable. Okay, now for example, okay, I'll take example on me. Okay, don't take any offense for others. So for example, I want to start a retail store, and to cut down my cost, what I will do, I will put 2 3 swing lines and 2 3 good operators. They will swing for me, and I'm selling my own product. Good, I'm earning better. But what happened when you are producing locally with 2 3 person, so you don't want you don't know what is your wastage, right? After cutting, there are some kind of a wastage item. What you are doing actually, you are throwing it, right? We are throwing it. So then what? It's not sustainable at all. You are you are making profit, but it's somehow it will come back to us and it will collapse someday. So why not we start right now from you, like when you are starting a new startup with a fashionable product, with the fashion industry in an innovative um, product. Why don't you start it, like it can start from us, from you, right? So before I jump to next slide, I want to talk about more about the problems, so why it's a problem to us, like why we are not thinking about sustainable more. It's because we don't know about sustainable. Actually, we don't know at all. I mean, how many of us even thinking, okay, this much of poly bags I will not use, I will reuse it again and again and again. How many of us is thinking about sustainable production? Okay, she is working for me, I don't care about her child, I don't care the child is going for a school or not, but it's our responsibility, right? In There are a lot of things is there, but it's our responsibility, and you are accountable if you are doing a business, right? If you are accountable for each of the person is working under you, even though your brand, your operators, your if you are a b2b, still you are accountable, right? So next one is digitalization. It's actually we all know about it, right? So like because of this pandemic, we have gone through this marketing and social media, digital tools. A lot of people are using it. It's we are very knows about it. Now we know about it. So it's marketing and social media. Like maybe some of you know much better than me even. E-commerce, of course, we know website and other things to buy and sell, and people can pay you by cash or pay you by card, etc. So visual retailers, we already spoke about it, and you saw also in the video. And style the product, like well, I can take an example, right? Like when we are making the designs, we can make a 3D design in CAD, and then it can link to our other devices, other tools of our social media, right? So I might say you another thing now. There's a person, one of my friend, he was a still he is a electrical engineer. So in his MBA final year project, he did a project, entrepreneur startup project. He created a 3D design. Okay, so he used to make 3D design for jewelry. So he's a electronic engineer. He was making 3D design, and we are like, okay, what is it? What is what is special about it? So what is special about it is like when you are creating a 3D design, actually you are minimizing your cost and everything, because you know what is the element, what is the materials you need. And this fellow, after he created 3D design, he is making 3D print. So when he is making 3D design jewelry, the same jewelry he is making 3D design print. So why he's going to sell it? He's in Sri Lanka. So he's most of the customers are from India, because these people are wearing tons of gold. So like if I'm not wrong, I'm not saying who's the person, but if I'm not wrong, perhaps he is earning nearby about $500,000 monthly, only by creating some design, maybe 5 or 10, and then creating and then selling it out to third party. So let's talk about digital technology. So here I
Excuse
want
me,
to
Ms.
talk
Anamika.
something. Yeah.
Ms. Anamika, could you please check your screen if you don't mind? I don't think it's being shared properly.
Okay. Can you see it? Can you see it?
It's supposed to be, I don't think it's clear, because is it the 17th slide?
Oh no, it's 20th slide.
Like that's not what is shown on the screen. It's stuck at 17.
It's stuck at 17. Still it's stuck at 17?
Yeah,
Now what about this?
it's still the same.
Okay. Sorry for the interruptions. Just give me some time. I'll do it again. Okay. Descriptive technology. Right. Can you see it now?
Yes, now it's all right. Digitalization, right?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
oh my God, you have missed sustainable fashion. Okay. If you have any question, Asna, please. I will note it down. I will be talking about it during this Q&A that we have missed it. Actually, we don't missed it anything at all. I was telling those stories about Silan and all. Okay. So, if you have any question about sustainability, just feel free to ask. So, right now you can see it, right? Asna, can you see it?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Ms.
Right. Okay.
Anamika.
Thank you so much, dear. Okay. Thank you so much. So, okay, we didn't actually miss a lot. I was about to say something was very important. Okay, it's about digital technology. So when we are doing a project, please remember this thing, and please concentrate. Thank God you have said it right before I have started this thing. So when we are starting a startup project, how we are going to monitor our project? Are we going to write it down? Okay, I'm going to do this one is that particular day, this one. It's not happening, right? It's not happening in such a way when we are writing something, and it's very difficult to arrange those things and go back again and checking whether it's actually we have done it or what. So, for a startup projects, like digitalization, it's kind of a transformation. So when you are talking about this technology, digital technology, I'm talking about more about you know to monitor your project. You can use some of your free softwares, right? So maybe there are some software, somebody is there already, he might know properly. So like there are some software called Trello, which is completely free. If you install it, it's very user friendly. So every time whatever you're supposed to do within, like, example, I supposed to do these are the thing, I will write it down with the date, and I will keep it in that software. It will automatically arrange you with the dates, right? And then it's very easy to monitor. Okay, have I done it? Tick. Have I not done it? Tick. And then I have to follow up the next, right? Like that. So Trello. Then there's another thing called Freelium. Trello, Trello. And Freelium also, there are some kind of free softwares are there where you can actually monitor your projects. And like you can say, okay, I know a Mudalali, I know a person who started a business without those softwares. It's like so difficult for me to follow, but it's not correct actually. You have to discipline yourself, especially when you are doing a startup project. You have to discipline because it involves money, it involves your time, and it involves your dream. It's something beyond of any money you can buy, right? So you have to discipline yourself. You have to discipline how you're going to do all those steps, all those projects, to get the maximum productive result, right? So example, these are for the startups, right? So example, there can be somebody who already started a small business. It can be medium. So do you know, like small medium businesses, like if it's a less than 700 million, so it's a small business. If it's a big like 700 plus million rupees, then it will fall under medium scale businesses. So example, you annual um, turnover is less than 700 million. So how are you going to do it? So you need accountant, you need lot of person to arrange all those data. But here the technology plays the role. What is the role? The blessing role is, we have a cloud solution, we have ERP. We don't need SAP because it's very expensive, and we need somebody expert to operate it as well. But if we are using cloud-based ERP solutions, which is very tiny investment, but I'm talking about not the like if you are earning 100,000, then 1 million, still reasonable for go for the free softwares where you can follow up everything. But then when you have like at least a handsome amount of sales, and you have a revenue turnover, you have an inventory, you have a stocks to follow. So then here this ERP or cloud-based system will play a very vital role. Because, for example, I'm doing a traditional way to do business. Okay, I have 100 units in my warehouse. Okay, I don't know that 100 units stuck in that corner. So I don't know that 100 units. So usually when there's inventory, we're thinking it's as an asset. But I'm saying it is a liability when it's a fashion industry. Why? Because fashion is changing every day. Fashion is changing. So if you have 100 units stock this month, you can't actually, you can sell, but the trend, the design, the fabric, everything will not be, maybe people might not like the design, people not like the colors even after 2-3 months later. So this is an industry where the consumer behavior is more complicated, and as a consumer we are more like puzzled, we don't know what to follow. So that's why we need, those are the little I might say that if you can say, okay, it's a huge investment, actually it's not. There are some software you can buy it even $34. Even there are some software only in $21 subscription for entire year. So do some research, go do some research and see which one is convenient to you, right? So if you have any other question about how to like monitor those startup projects and all, feel free to ask. Okay, no problem. So so now let's talk about some numbers. Now in Sri Lanka, we have 10.10 millions internet user. So these are the numbers, right? Why I'm saying you the numbers, I'll say you later. That 5.9 millions Facebook user. These are the Instagram user, and LinkedIn user 1.20, right? These are the millions. So these are the numbers is your opportunity. These are the numbers is your opportunity. These are the customers for your product. Now all about to start a business, right? And identify which customer, where it's falling down, right? So let's talk about problem in fashion technology. Okay, I will talk little more about this thing. So let's talk about first adoption, right? So you remember during this pandemic time, there are a lot of actually most of the retailers used to shut down. Okay, but there are like super shops, some essential products. They just take the changes within a day, within a night. They have created some huge uh, like apps. They have some systems to follow up their supply chain and also the delivery. Everything they have adopted the change. They have adopted the situation very frequently. Like it was like over a night they has to do it. They have to do it because they didn't had any choice to sustain. So what happened in fashion industry? You ask me also, what happened to fashion industry? How did you survive? Oh my God, it's 1 year you had to shut down. So what we can survive, it's all about to take the decision to adopt the changes as fast as possible. How? Now you see, if you are talking about fashion industry, it's not only retailers, it's not only manufacturer, it's also supply chain, right? It's also the person who is delivering our product to the end customer. When I'm talking about the cash on delivery or the delivery, okay? So actually in Sri Lanka, we have one or two who actually have a platform where they can track down the supply chain. Like, okay, I have a customer, I'm doing online business. I have given my parcel to the supply, the delivery person, the delivery company, and then I don't know where it is. That's the problem. Just, I mean, I believe all of us, some extent, we have purchased something from online, right? So we are like banging our head to the either to the person who is selling it or either to ourselves, like I don't know why I purchased it. And just imagine if you already paid and it's not coming to you on time, then what happens? So it's not about you will only start a business related to clothing, accessories, or retailer store or an online store. It's also the supply chain. You can even like, yeah, there are one or two, but still the entire country is depending on mostly on them. So what happened? They are also having a backlog, huge backlog. If you ask, what about my parcel? Okay, I'll let you know. Then let you know 3 days later. So then this is a problem. These are challenges. And what I say, every challenges is our opportunity. So you can create your own supply chain. Like you can create your own delivery companies or such a app where we can actually track down, we can track down our parcels, we can track down where it's reached to the customers. So this is adoption. So it's I'm talking about domestic industry, domestic apparel industry. We hardly adopt, actually we hardly adopt to the change. We are still going to the traditional way to do the selling. For people will come to our retail store and then we will sell, right? So the next one is the lack of raw materials. So as I told earlier, we are importing 2.2 billions of raw fashion items from outside, right? So mostly it's raw materials. So what happened? It's a huge, right? 2.2 billion, oh my God. But actually it's not at all, because those are the products, raw materials are going to those particular manufacturer, and they are producing and they are exporting it. It's not coming to the local market. So local market is always having a huge vacuum of raw materials. You tell me, you are going to start a small production line. Where are you going to start? First thing you will come to the brain is, let's go to PETA, let's check some fabric, right? First thing is coming like this, right? So we have very limited of raw materials, especially those whatever I said, like organic, sustainable, those things. People are hardly actually think about it. And okay, so sustainability, I already talked about it. Digitalization also, I have talked about it. If you have any question, please feel free to ask. Let's talk about consumer shift. So as I told earlier, it's an industry where the customer behavior is more complicated. Like, I don't know which kind of product I should buy. I don't know which kind of trends is going on. Okay, I saw this celebrity is wearing this kind of particular dress, or this branded handbag she is using, but I don't know, it's very expensive, this brand is super expensive, I can't afford it. So as a local customer, what I'm going to do, I'm going to search similar something like that. So it's a challenge, and the opportunities for you, for the new startups. So what you can do, you can utilize all of your digitalization tools, and like little bit of branding, and let the customer know what kind of product you have, like what kind of and how it's creating value for money and creating the value for others. So we will talk about it in terms of when I'm talking about the branding. So yes, consumer shifts, it's very important, and it's a it's a challenge, like when you are doing a new startup project, it's a challenge to identify what kind of fashion I will go into. Like there are casual, there are formal, there are party, there are actually millions of way to do the fashion trends. So for startups, it's a challenge to pick which design or which category I will pick for my startup projects. So those are the problems. So if you think there are any other problem you might face in your during your startup, you feel free to ask. Of course, I will be answering those things. And this let's talk about these opportunities. Actually, the challenges I was explaining, those are our opportunity as well. For example, the geographical location in Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka is situated in a center of a Indian Ocean, and we have a superb airports. We have a superb air rotation. So it's very convenient for other people to come and visit the location, right? And also, if you are a manufacturer, Sri Lanka, right? Sri Lankan port is kind of a hub. So it's a huge advantage for you to export your products. And, so not only that, I mean, as we all know, Sri Lanka is one of the top visit country around the world, where the most people, the most travelers are spending a huge amount of money when they comes to Sri Lanka. And mainly those travelers are inbound, right? And when they comes, they are always looking for those luxury brand, how they will feel the traditional Sri Lankan tradition, the island tradition, the tropical traditions. So if you are thinking to do a startup project, think about it, utilize the advantage we have here. So see, there is import regulation. It's a very bad news for an importer, right? If you import any garments, right? But it's a very blessing to the people, the local people. So since there are huge import regulations are going on, if you have any question on that, I will be happy to answer, but let me go with the flow. So this, because of these import regulations, it's not very easy like before to import fashion products as well some other products, as you know, but it's not actually easy to bring down a lot of fashion products, right? So if you are planning to do a startup in fashion industry, it's your call. And also government is giving huge loans for the new startups, and every bank having their own quotas to support those local startups, right? And as you know, our upper middle class is blooming, right? Like we people are earning and people are educating themselves. So when they are educating themselves, they are maintaining a class. So as a very recent survey has reported that in Sri Lanka, the main majority consumers are middle class. So you can like when you can ask, like when I'm going to do a startup project, how I'm going to identify my audience. Here is your call, like, okay, you can identify your customer based on the class, right? So but it's your call. You can create a niche product for a premium customers as well. And digital literacy, I already talked about it. We are already so educated about digital. We know how to use those how to use those tools. And since we like we are buying from online, right? So from 2018 to 2021, online purchase has increased 8.4%. So that means we are actually literate about digital sale, like on online sale or online buying. This behavior already came to us. So it's also an opportunity for the new startups, because when you start a new project, so you are taking a tiny mini market share from the players who is already in the market, because people are always checking what's the new, this person is doing something new, let's go, let's buy that product. So it's an opportunity. And then to create the loyalty of the customer, it's up to you. Fashion literacy, okay, like since we are educated and there are huge number of international brands influences in Sri Lanka, you name it, we have it. Those brands are in Sri Lanka. So we know about those fashions, we know about those brands, right? So we are enough educated about the fashion and educate about the fashion trends, right? So technology, I already spoke about it. Let's talk about a little bit of the thriving creative culture. So you see, we have a huge, wide range of creative personnel in Sri Lanka. You see, like every day a new creative artist coming, like new photographers coming, and they are doing an amazing job. There are a lot of creative people around us. So it's also an opportunity. Why? Because the more the communities are creative, the more they will look for the trends. So it's your call how you're going to grab that trend. So somebody, I actually got to know somebody will be talking to you about this business model. So I will be not explaining the entire thing, but then again I will be talking a little bit about this is I have kept it's a lean business model, and these are the I kept one fashion brand. It's a children clothing, right? So if you see, maybe you have already gone through those business model, maybe you know those lean startup projects when we are doing, right? So as I told earlier, like you have to discipline yourself. It's not about it's just a business model, I have to learn it to pass my exam, or I have to write those report to finish my final year report, right? I have gone through, right? So I know how it feels. Even I also when in our first year, when they were talking about the startup project, I was like okay, it's just another model, but it actually makes sense. Now when you see key partners, so you can decide who are my key partners. Is it my raw material suppliers? If you are doing a manufacturing, then of course raw materials. If you are doing third party manufacturing, then the person will be your key partner, or maybe the person whom you are buying and selling. If you can do a buying and selling, then still that person is your key partner. Key activities, right? And resources, what's your resources, like in my situation, uh, my resources is me and my business partner. This is the most vital resources, right? After that it comes to the raw materials, the sourcing, the supply chain, fall into everything. So then this comes to the value proposition. So value proposition, I'll be talking about the next slides, but then again, I'm talking about the quality and the, the price, and especially the quality and the price and the product you are offering to the customers, and how the customers um, um, are representing, like how the customers are satisfied about your product, and how you are maintaining those standards, right? These fall into this value proposition. Customer relationship, we all know. Channels, you can decide whether you can sell it to B2B, like you will give it to a retailer, he will sell it to his price, or you can sell it online, you can sell it by your own retail store. Okay, the cost structure, if you have any question, please ask me. But for this time, I'm talking about cost structure is mainly about how you're going to price your product to the customer. Okay, so it can be, if you are thinking my customer will be middle class, it will be some kind of cost structure. If it's upper middle class, so it's depending on the audience, depending on the customer you identified, right? And the revenue and all, and these customer segments, now here, see this customer segment, it's a clothing, baby clothing product, right? So babies cannot be my customer, right? Babies cannot buy my product. So who is my customer? So my customer will be baby's mother or the parent. So I have to, you have to definitely segment your customer. Who is your customer? Whom you're going to market yourself? Whom you're going to sell your product, right? So since we are talking about the fashion technology, so when you are talking about the innovation and technological innovation, your business model is fall into this value proposition. Why? Because technology will help us to reduce the waste, and it will give a positive impact to our environment, and as well as it will create a profit. So when you are talking about a startup project, especially innovative project, because if I'm not wrong, I don't think Fashionomy is actually looking for somebody who will be buying and selling, buying and selling. Like then everybody is a startup. Everybody is doing a Fashionomy. Maybe is they are looking for somebody who is doing something extraordinary, who maybe very unique somebody, right? So when you are thinking about unique something, your value proposition will be falling under here, right? So you should know how you're going to create a value to us actually, right? So let's now we have done, for example, we have done all the sustainable product, we have innovative something in our hand, and most of you already started a business. Okay, assume we are all, most of us are the entrepreneur, and we are doing a business in fashion industry. Then we have a product, sustainable product, and also we are doing innovative, some innovation, okay, yeah, in terms of our new venture. So what else? We have everything, but people doesn't know it. You have a sustainable product, it's a very unique product, people doesn't know it. So how people will going to know it? People will know the way you will brand your product, right? So before you plan to brand your product, just brainstorm yourself, pick some couple of, like, write it down, what you want to write down, be disciplined, right? Write it down, and then you decide on what you're going to do, and then you decide what kind of brand you're going to create. It can be a upper end, high end, or middle, or the mass market. And then you can choose your product, the core product. You remember I was explaining, like when I was started, I had made so many error decision about the product, and then I came out with a specific product. So same way, it's okay to create error. I mean, that's how you will learn it, right? So if you do something and in one shot, if you got successful, it's your call. It's really, you are really lucky. But most of the time you have to go through failure. So as an entrepreneur, you should not be like heartbroken when one product is not workable, or maybe customers are not picking the way you are expecting customer to take your products. So then again, create errors. Okay, no problem. It's okay to make mess and then change, adopt. The faster, the better, right? So why I kept sourcing in branding? Sourcing cannot be branding. Sourcing can be in supply chain, right? Here I kept sourcing. For example, you are a startup, right? And for a startup, maybe you can't do a sustainable product. You can't do an innovative product range, right? So what you can do? You can source something from somebody who is actually doing it and willing to give their product to you, right? So how you will brand yourself? You will brand yourself by saying that I am doing an innovative product which is creating a value to, like this. Okay, these are the sets, benefits are there, right? So I can take an example like Good Market. So maybe all of you know about Good Market, right? So when they started with sustainable, and now what happened? They are giving a certification of Good Market. I mean, can you imagine it? A local, somebody is giving you a certificate, and it's actually a value to other countries as well. That such a way they create the brand. But Good Market itself have a very limited range of their own product. Rather, they are focusing on those sustainable, innovative products from the local venture, and they are saying it. Okay, Good Market is a place where we are selling all those sustainable products. And if you are a startup, if you are doing a sustainable product or any innovative product, anyway, you have. I mean, it's better if you can go through a Good Market certification. Then you have some sort of a recognition that I am having a Good Market certification, and also it will appear to their portal. It will, if you have a website or anything, you can keep it there like you are certified by them, because they are also recognized by other international countries. Okay. By the way, it's not a marketing for them. It's I'm just saying it because they are doing really good. Identify your customer. I already talked about it. Creative. Okay. You have to be creative always. You have to be creative in terms of your marketing, in terms of your online sale, in terms of your even B2B customers. Maybe a customer who will come to you, take your product and sell somewhere else. Still, you have to be creative, and you have to be consistent. Keep improve something. You keep improve. Okay, I'm selling a T-shirt. Okay, keep improve the product. Keep improve the quality. Keep improve the packaging. Everything is blend together. Make it as a innovative fashion brand, right? And then the last but not the least, focus on your customer feedback. Don't get angry if somebody is saying, okay, you are doing something, blah blah blah. Okay, listen, maybe there should be a valid reason that person doesn't like it. So every time you get a complaint, focus on that and keep improve. There is always a time to improve. You don't need to be so perfect at the beginning of your startup project. Rather than you keep improve and let the community know that you are keep improving. Okay, so we are human being, right? And our product, our business belongs to us. If we are not 100% perfect, how can our business can be 100% perfect? So take the responsibility, keep improve, and try to do something better to the world, right? So okay, I'll talk about I talked about the branding and all. Let's know how to register the brand. Okay, so you might think to register a brand it might take a huge amount of money. I have to go to a lawyer, and everything is no. It's a big no. You don't need to go to anywhere at all. Okay, it's not expensive at all. Okay, it's maybe this is the place you have to go, which is in Colombo 1. If you even check in Google ROC, it will appear, and the portal is really fast. Like and they are very fast actually. If you go to their customer care, if in case you think you are not getting connected properly, it's in Colombo 1. You go and register. It takes maybe 1,300 rupees. All you need to create a brand, a logo, a name, and then they will check whether it will appear, it will be similar to other somebody. Okay, if it's not, then you can register by itself the similar same day. If not, then maybe you have to go the following day, right? So when you are going, make sure you are going with your identity card, and that's it. It's very easy to do, you know. And why you have to register your brand? Tell me now. Say it's very easy to open a Facebook page. It's very easy to open a Instagram, even a LinkedIn. It's very easy. There's no cost involved. I just tuck, I will do it, right? But then again, you know, there's a time when you will do your own website. Website will ask you either a business registration number or a brand registration number. So you have to give those numbers, the cred number, you have to feed that to the website. Also, if you're going to do Facebook marketing, Facebook also need a website. If you do a certain time later, if you do a very good Facebook um, marketing, and if you are going to sell on online, then you can't actually create a post without keeping your link. And also you have to give, so when you are keeping a link, website link, anyway, you have to give your business registration or a brand registration. This is one thing. And second thing is, when you registered your brand, this is you. Nobody is going to tell this is mine. Okay. Maybe today it's a very tiny brand, but maybe a couple of months later, it will be somewhere standing. So the more early you register your brand, you are in the safer side. Even, you know, my brand is very tiny, and even my customer segment is very limited. But I have faced this kind of branding issue, while some people are thinking, some people came to me and say, hey, do you know somebody is selling this brand, and that person said they can do this. You know, I got really upset, and I was go through and I let people to know, no, this is me. I'm the owner, and I have a co-founder, and we are the owner of this brand. So if you think somebody is selling it, we can sue it anyway. So it's like this. You are in a safer zone. So when you start a business, register your business, register your brand. It will not cost you money, really. It's when you go for a coffee, the bill comes more than that, right? 1,300. It's not a big amount, right? So just do it. And right. So if you have any other questions, feel free to ask me. I'm all yours.
Thank you so much, Miss Anamika. That was truly a wealth of information. We could actually sense your passion for fashion in your voice and your experience, I mean, over 12 years. So it undoubtedly reflects in your content and your confidence and whatever that you spoke about. So before we move on to the Q&A session, let me give our audience a brief reminder. Please make sure that you have marked your attendance in the attendance sheet that you will find in the chat box. Fashionomy. Fashionomy is Sri Lanka's first ever ideathon on fashion technology. It is an ideathon open for all state and non-state undergraduates and students of other higher education institutions. What's expected of you to do in Fashionomy is to identify an existing issue in the fashion industry and pertaining to fashion technology and present your idea as to how to overcome it. What you have to do is submit your idea as a proposal and you have to mention your idea and how you suggest it to be executed and so on and so forth. So the registrations are open until the 10th of April, 2021. You will find the link in the chat box. Please make sure to check it out. So now let's move on to the Q&A session, Ms. Anamika. If you have any questions for Ms. Anamika, you can unmute your microphones now and ask it, or else feel free to put it on the chat box so that she could take a look. Okay, we have one question here. It says, how can we create a trend in the fashion industry without damaging our own brand as a result? I think that's a really good question.
Yeah, it's a really valid question, right? So how we will create a trend? Simply is to educate our customer. How are we going to educate our customer? We going to educate our customer by using digitalization, as I said earlier, right? So, for example, which kind of trends actually you want to categorize your trend? Um, uh, I mean, can you explain like which kind of trend you're going to create? Like, if you think I want to create a trend where people will be like only to the like casual wear. So trend comes to based on the situation, based on the like the time. Like for example, it will be easy for me to explain you if I'm giving you an example. Like during this pandemic time, people are more shifted to casual wear. Even the offices, they are using casual wear, right? So they and mostly people are working for home. So anyway, they are going for a casual wear. So during this 2020 to till now, most of my casual shirts, men's shirts are moving very faster. So it doesn't damaging my brand at all because it's a trend and trend based on the situation, right? And my brand is mainly focusing on the latest product, but it's not harming at all as long it's identified its own core and sustainable and ethical. So everything is there. So I'm not damaging at all. Rather than if you are selling a particular trend, a particular design, some extent it's cash flows are coming, right?
Okay, we have another question.
I
When
hope I
starting
have.
one,
Sorry, Asna, I interrupt
that's
you.
all right. That's all right.
I hope I have made you clear, Pasindu. But if you have any particular in terms of the trends and the damage of your brand, you can talk about it. We can have a discussion also even during this chat. It's okay, like we can all know about it then. Right.
Okay, the next question is when starting one's own fashion startup, how can one choose a suitable textile for the clothes that they are producing?
Suitable textile. Choose the suitable textile for clothes that they are producing. Okay, right. So here comes the research. If you are passionate about your startup project, you know what you're going to do, right? If you are into fashion industry, then you going to research what is the current market going on, the best way to look into the competitors. What is like, for example, you are going to do a startup project, maybe similar like this brand. Okay, what are the product these brands are doing? Go to their shop or go to their online, do some research, check their prices, check their product, check how their customers are interacting with them, check how they are interacting with customers. If possible, buy a couple of product and see how does it feels. I do this kind of that extent, research when you are doing your own startups, because it's all about your passion, right? And it's your dream. So work for it. So when you think what kind of suitable textile I should pick, the best thing is to pick the fast moving one. So what kind of product will be fast moving? So you can say t-shirt is going very fast. If I'm talking about only clothing, okay, t-shirts are going very fast. Slippers are moving very fast. It's generating more cash flow, right? So okay, then again, um, now you think about how you can create an innovative sustainable product in terms of the t-shirt, right? What kind of print you will use, what kind of dye you will use, such a way. But the best way to learn about the market is just pick your own competitors. But when you pick your own competitors, you are startup, always pick this, you know always pick somebody much higher than you. Then what will happen? You are always trying to improve yourself, you are always trying to go there. And like when you are always trying to go there, you are always trying to do something better. So that's the easiest way. And you don't need to like work for somewhere to get the essence of fashion industry or get the essence of the textile, the product. No, you don't need to even work somewhere. You just do some research, set a benchmark, which one you're supposed to follow. But that benchmark product or brand cannot be even local, can be a very high end brand like Prada. You know, like you can pick it, you know, like it's totally depends on you. But if you are catering to local market, and then you think about which kind of product you wants to do. Is it a fast moving product? If it's a fast moving product, pick somebody who is already selling fast moving product, maybe a t-shirt. Go to their retailer. Okay, and another thing, don't only pick one or two products, because you know, during this pandemic, it's taught me also, you know, like you can't only do some specific product, like we are doing linen dresses, trousers, anam, we are doing so many things. Okay, but still don't just rely on a set of product. Rather than always look for something which is related to the circumstance, related to the time, related to the culture. Even now it's going on the what the our new year coming, right? So do you know our new year auspicious color is green? So I can see lots of brands are doing branding with their green color attires and all. So like this, you know, like also I might say, I mean, sorry to give you a lengthy answer, but you know, I don't know how to minimize it to make you understand. So for example, like there are set of clothes already we are selling. Okay, but during the pandemic, who is going to buy my breathable product? Who is going to buy my party dress? Rather than during this pandemic, most of us shifted to yoga, running, health. We are focusing on healthy lifestyle. So you can focus on those relevant to those. You know, I mean, hardly those days you can see a good yoga pant or good yoga mat even. But now it's everywhere available. Why? Because it's a situational demand. So think about it, and don't think about only pandemic. Think about 3 years plan. You should have 3 years plan, and you divided each 3 years into one, and then you divide it into six. But you can't divide more less than that if you are doing a startup project. I hope I have answered your question. Okay.
Okay, we have another question. Anushi is asking, is air dyeing technique similar to sublimation printing, or is it something different?
Well, it's kind of different, not similar to sublimation, because it's now you will see the air dyeing technique is going as a bulk. You know, like we are not doing only a small paper print and going to heat press. It's not like this. We are doing it a bulk, and then it's a one step. You know, and it's dye itself. So you don't need to even use a separate dryer to dry it. And if you actually can create something innovative, something to reduce these dyeing matters, it's really helpful. Because in Sri Lanka, when I was starting to do some production, the dyeing price is really high. And so when these dyeing prices are high, the price is going anyway high, the product price is going higher. So to minimize the cost, as I told, like we always need innovation, technology to minimize the cost, waste, and pollution, right? Ah, well, now you're talking about it, right? So you should talk about our president. but but you know, the good part, I told, like our president is always you know, like motivating lots of new startups to come out, you know. For a new startups, you tell me, like a newborn baby, how many people will come to see you? As a startup, I'm saying, you don't blame others, don't blame anyone. Just tell me a simple question, just answer it, like if a newborn kid, how many people are coming? Maybe relatives. That's it, no? Only the relatives. So the brand and the startup also a newborn baby, right? So some extent you have to show to the bank that your business is feasible, right? It's feasible, and you have a plan, a proper plan to create profit, and this is your forecast, this is your product, this is your supply, this is the price. I mean, if you really wants to know how to structure those things and submit to this proposal to the bank, please you can see my email address. I can help you out. I mean, I will be happy to help, because when I started I didn't knew those things. So but then again, you know, you have your startup project should be feasible, you know. So, I mean, if you ask a loan from somebody, it should be okay, I need a loan of 1 million, why I will give you 1 million? You know, it's very obvious. Like if you ask your father, well, give me 1,000 rupees, how many times you will ask what you do with these 1,000 bucks, right? So like that. But then again, um, the advisory support you might get, you know, when you are talking about say example, if you are going to register your business as a sole proprietorship, so where you are going to grama seva, right? So that person you are going, so then you will attach the brand as sorry, the business as a sole proprietorship. So then you will be attached yourself where? To the bank. So bank manager knows you are a sole proprietorship, and then you should create a relationship to the bank. And then bank knows, okay, this is the person having a feasible business plan, and this is registered here. He has a physical place where his business is doing. One thing you remember, when you are doing sole proprietorship, or especially sole proprietorship, the Grama Seva actually coming to your place and seeing actually you have a place where you are conducting your business, or you have a office place, right? So make sure before you go, after you go, even that person will tell you these are the requirements they need. And if it's a private limited, then of course your advisor will give you all the details, all the financial support, all the advices that person will be giving you to boost your new startups, right? um, Imanda, I hope I have answered you, but if you are not clear, but you can ask me again.
Okay, Anamika, thank you very much. I think that would be the end of the Q&A. So do you have like on an ending note, do you have any last words for someone who is very passionate about starting their own brand?
Well, before I'm saying something, please remember this is my opinion. It's nothing to do with you. You might get lot of things from the community, from the society, when you are attached with even Toastmaster, BNI, you name it. There are plenty of clubs are there, right? You might know a lot of things. Those are opinion. It's your call whether you are picking it or not, right? So what I'm going to say, I should tell it. Like this is my opinion, nothing to do with you. You can listen or you can just forget about it, right? So first thing, there are always a question like how many years experience I actually need to start my own startup. Now you said I have 12 years work experience, but it's a hidden which age I actually started my own venture. So actually I started my own venture when I'm 21 years old, and I got my first child when I'm 22. And now you can count my age, I don't have any problem. So you know, like you actually no need to have a huge experience to start your own startup. You can, but you know, as a human being, um, as a family member, we all have a responsibility, commitments. So then the commitments comes with money, right? So we should earn money to to like to take care of those commitments. So what you will do, you can do two things. Okay, one thing, you can get a job and keep your dream and start your work. There nowhere it's written if you do a business, sorry, if you are working somewhere you cannot do a business. It's not written anywhere. But then again, it's ethical. Like say example, you started a job in manufacturing factory, like garment factory, and you are going to start a business related to manufacturing or fashion, like, then it comes to ethics, but there's nothing written. Now, I know somebody who is a doctor. Professionally, he's a doctor and he owns 3 retail stores. I know somebody who is a, who is a banker who is doing a B2B fashion business. So you don't need a set of experience to start your business. You can start anywhere, right? Just don't give up your dream. If you have a dream, stick with the dream, because if you believe and have a faith on your dream, then it will happen. It will be late, but it will happen. So, and if you are thinking, okay, I will go for a job and get some idea of business and do the business, it not works in such a way, because if you go for a job, your position will be either a salesperson, marketing, researcher, specific, right? So how are you going to know about product? How are you going to know about marketing? How are you going to know about supply chain? You will got to know those things only when you jump into the what? The ocean. Either you have to learn to swim anyway. It's a journey and it's an improvement. So you have to just keep going on. So I might say, see, you guys are very young, very energetic. If you have such a commitment that you have to go for a job, do it. But don't just give up your dream. If you think you should do a startup, create your own brand, leave aside, and keep working on it while you're working somewhere. Like, there's a saying, no, like you can't get a result, the similar, say, different, unique result if you're doing the same thing every day. So you have to always keep doing something different to get the different essence of life. And you guys are really, really, really young. So don't just waste your time, like scrolling down the Facebook early in the morning, and just do something productive, like, and there is another thing I might say. When somebody has startup, the person is thinking, my family don't understand that I'm a startup. They don't understand what I'm doing, or my relative doesn't know what I'm doing. They are like, okay, I have a degree from Jaipura, like I am graduate from something, but I'm dreaming to do a small business. They don't understand. You don't need to make other people understand, right? There will be a very tiny people, like maybe your family, only maybe your family matters, right? So let them to be in your dream, drag them to your dream, let them to dream your dream. So then you will be getting a certain set of support from your surroundings. But then again, don't just give up your dream. If you are dreaming to do a startup, it's your call. But there are people who are dreaming to be a CEO in a multinational companies. This is your calls. So it's all about your perception, whether you go in which direction. But your objective should be very vital. You should have a objective which you will be keep along with your entire lifetime. You will improve it, you will develop it. It might change, but it should not change the core of the objective, right? I hope a big descriptions, but like nobody was there when I was started. So yes, don't give up the dream. Don't just give up the dream. Well, I hope I have given you an answer, Asna. Asna, can you hear me? Okay. Asna, can you hear me?
I think Asna is having a bit of a technical issue at the moment. We'll just wait a few seconds for her to get back.
Right. Okay. Okay. If you have any other issues or anything, just feel free to ask. No problem. Since Asna is not available right now, I would like to add some new things, which is your new startup should not limit itself to Sri Lanka itself. You can even think about export. You know, like you might have a product which have a customer uh, to other countries, to other markets. So you cannot. I mean, you should not only limit your business to only local, right? And then again, when you are entering to a new market or new product, do some research. Check what is the fast moving things going on. Check what other people are doing. That is the best way to learn um, how to do the business. You know, to especially to new countries or new markets. Um,
Okay, Anamika, I'm really sorry about the
okay.
I'm really sorry about the connection issue.
Okay, so I think Asma is having a bit of a technical problem at the moment. So she's trying to connect back, but like with the connection issue and all, she can't connect back properly. So I think we'll wind up the session with that. So thank you, Miss Anamika, for your valuable time and for those kind words and for all the advisors and like spending an entire 2 hours with us and giving us valuable advice to build our own startup amidst all the problems we see in the fashion industry in Sri Lanka. So I think many of the participants here got an idea about the fashion industry and how to overcome the problems we see in Sri Lanka as a when it comes to the fashion industry. So thank you, Ms. Anamika, for your kind participation and for your words of wisdom. So ladies and gentlemen, so we will be concluding this session with that. So we will be having our third session within next week. So be sure to join with us and let's join with Fashionomy once again. Thank you very much and have a pleasant day. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.